his life and his family's life, right? You know, and allow him to do all the incredible opportunity, community things that he does with him, his dad, his family, all of it packaged in one. So we've been dripping these out, right? Its first batch came out in November. The second batch came out for senior leadership meeting. And the third batch is now coming out at Baja Mar. So I'm really excited about that. The best part about it is that it's completely shareable, right? You can download it on your social media, share it on social media. You can share it with your client. You can email it. You can text it to them. You know, all of these videos are completely approved, guys. I think it's the first and only ones that ever have been this short, approved, and able to use in multifaceted ways. But guys, you know what? I have to tell you, this next slide talks about our national meeting. So you tell me, who's going to be the one to change their families' lives, right? You know, our HALC national meeting, October 6th and 7th at the Ontario Convention Center. We've got registration right now on Primerica Online. Just click the link, go and register. Cost is super minimal compared to other stuff. And we have some amazing speakers, and we're adding on a daily basis. Hector Lamarck is coming, the incredible $1 Million earner Frank Dillon, Sandra Gonzalez, Ed Ortiz just confirmed to me the other day that he's going to make it. Fernando Torres, Art Martinez, guys. I mean, it is going to be absolutely amazing. And we are going to have recognition for RVP and above, so don't wait. And if you know me, you know that recognition is going to be good because I give out the best goodies. So, and we're going to have simultaneous translation. Our amazing friend, Yakaira Reyes, is going to come out and help us out with that. So I'm really excited about that. But guys, HALC is on the move. How? We've got a boatload of events coming down the pipelines, right? You know, we've got our HALC committees are working really, really hard to put together some amazing content for you guys to come out and register for, right? Our recruiting and licensing committee, of which Alex Santana is part of. He leads it with Henry Pimentel, and helping us put this agenda together on growing with recruiting and licensing. It's March 16th in Lodi, New Jersey. It's actually in Frank Dillon's office. So you got to take opportunity on that. It is a live meeting. We will have Zoom, which we'll send out later. But guys, if you can make it live, there's nothing better than a live event, right? You know, I'll be there. The amazing Laura Armstrong from our field licensing director will be there, also talking from home office, talking about how you can improve your licensing and showing you how to do it. And then in coming up in February, right? You know, this is a little easier, right? February, we've got our investments committee, the incredible power investments couple, because that's pretty much a huge chunk of their business is investments, and they're super good at it. Balance your business in 2023. And Eddie has invited his friend Rick Miller to come out and speak to you on how he keeps a balanced business. This is a webinar. It is out on POL for you to register, guys. Make sure you get out there. Make sure you take a look. February 23, it is an hour and a half, this webinar. So make sure you allot the time in your day to do it, right? Mark it on your calendar right now. Don't get left behind on that. But HALC and the HALC board of directors, they are working so hard to bring you so much this year, right? So to help you guide that Hispanic community and to help you grow your business, because you know that our Hispanic community, it's all about educating them, right? We need to educate them. We need to show them what's right. And we need to teach them what to do, guys. So Ace, I'm going to hand it back to you. Thanks.
Anna, man, thank you so much for what you do to apoyar, support the field. I think that this collaboration that we have as a team is for the benefit of the group. And having said that, I'm going to turn it over to Alex. Alex, NSD Alex
Recording
Santana.
in progress.
I'm going to turn it over, and I want to welcome everybody again to another episode of Café con Leche. The purpose of this call is to make sure that we help those folks that are looking for tips on building their businesses. And Alex, one of the things I'm going to say about Alex, and we've met a few years ago, one of the things I can honestly say about Alex is his passion to want to help. Alex, I save all my text messages. That's one thing my wife always taught me how to do, save your text messages, right? So you have proof. And one of the things that I have proof is Alex is like, man, I want to help the HLC. Man, I want to help the HLC. What can I do to help the HLC? And that's what we're about. We're a servant mindset. Alex is an NSD out of Arizona, and now he's expanding. And today, he's going to be interviewing. I'm going to let you, Alex, interview your guys, right? But they're going to get real. On Monday, this past call, the big hitters call with Larry Waddell, Danny Chamorro was just bragging how great this leadership team is. And so I'm really excited about the topic. It says how to go to 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and building a big base shop. And him and his wife are how do you say that? You're not, you know what you're doing. In other words, they've done triple digit recruiting. They've done big numbers. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, brother. I want to thank you. And I can't wait. We're going to have over 1,000 people in the month of July. You're going to do a school for us. And I can't wait because every time this guy speaks, everybody listens. So stay thirsty, my friends. Go ahead, Alex. Take it away, buddy.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much. We're fired up. We're coming to you live from Baja Mar out here in the South, the Bahamas. So we're ready to have a great time out here. But before we get started, I want to do a couple things. First, I want to thank Anna and I want to thank Ace. You guys are amazing peeps. I mean, just to your commitment to the HALC is ridiculous. And I give you guys a ton of props. Thank you guys for doing that. I also want to congratulate the two couples that we have on today, you guys. These guys are power couples. You're going to hear in a second. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions and they're going to give it to you real, raw. You want to make sure you're taking a lot of notes. I can personally tell you that starting your business in one state and then transferring to a whole new state is not an easy thing to do. These guys, both of these guys, not only have done it, but they're at the top of the charts for the state of Texas. They're absolutely kicking butt. And so we're super proud of you, Josh and Patty, super proud of you, John and Susie. Man, we can't tell you how excited we are because we know that you're just getting started. So I got a few questions. Let's get it kick-started with this one. I mentioned that both of you guys moved to a brand new state. Tell me what your mentality was, knowing that you were going to start from zero. What was your mentality going into a brand new state?
Hey, Alex, you okay if I get started?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So when we first moved, which was about a year and a half ago, we moved from Phoenix to San Antonio. Man, one of the things was that number one, there was a lot of confidence. Okay. There was a lot of confidence that we had been trained properly. We knew what we had to do. We knew that recruiting was going to be our main priority. We weren't going to be going to look for people that wanted life insurance. We weren't going to be looking for referrals. We wanted to recruit the world, right? And we knew that we knew how to do that, whether it was prospecting in person, using social media. We were on a mission to personally be responsible for a minimum of 20 IBAs. Like, we felt like if we were just getting 4 directs, 5 directs, or 7, or maybe just recruiting 8 people, that just wasn't going to build the momentum to what we wanted it to be, right? So we had the confidence that we knew how to do it. And the goal was to start picking up, 20 minimum IBAs by ourselves. I mean, the way that I looked at it as, we didn't have anything else to do, we didn't know anyone. We moved out there by ourselves. When I tell you I didn't know anyone, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know where to go, right? And that was our main thing, okay? We knew we had the confidence. We knew that we could do it. We knew that we had to do a minimum of 20, but the ultimate goal, right, in our minds was just to dominate the leadership boards, you know? And I want to encourage everyone that's listening that, you know, don't think of that as cockiness or arrogance, right? It's a mindset that you need to develop wherever you're at, whatever position you're at, whatever promotion level you're at, whatever state you're in. Your mindset has to be, I'm going to dominate the leadership boards. And I remember, Alex, you know, you used to text me every day, dominate those boards, bro, dominate those boards. You got it. You got this. You got this. And so because of that, you know, little by little, we started gaining momentum, and we're at where we're at now, but we're super, super grateful that we feel that we got that mindset instilled in the base shop. And so now as RVPs, we were able to run with that. So we're super, super grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. I like that, man. And 20 plus recruits. All right. John and Susie, what was your mentality going into a brand new state?
Hey, how are you? First and foremost, we're super grateful to be on this call and super grateful to, you know, share our knowledge and what we know. And I think, you know, when we moved out to Texas, we moved out with a purpose. That was number one, is we knew we had a goal in mind. And, you know, we spoke to our SNSD Danny tomorrow, and one of the things that he told us is that coding is where it's at. And, you know, we were in Arizona, and when we decided to move to Texas, we let our team in Arizona know, like, hey, like, this is the vision, you know, we have to get our coding going. It's possible here in Arizona, but this is what, you know, moving can offer you. And, you know, we were blessed that we didn't start from necessarily zero, but we did start with, you know, 6 of, you know, one of the greatest, you know, team that we have right now. And they dropped everything, you know, they dropped their lives, and they said, hey, let's do it. And so when we moved, we all moved. Everybody's under the age of 25, right? And we hit the ground running. Our mentality was, we need to get recruits. Like, it's just us right now. How many recruits are we going to get? Let's build it to 20, then to 30, then to 40, then to 50. And we've been in Texas, you know, now 10 months. And last month we did 88 recruits. And that's just because we instilled that from the beginning. You know, prospecting was number one for us. And then from prospecting, we knew that if we can get it to 50 recruits, that we could eventually get it to 10 plus licenses a month, which is where it's at for us, you know? So our mentality was just, we got to talk to everybody. We have nothing else to do, just like Josh said, you know, we have nothing else to do here but work. And we put our head down, and, you know, like I said, in 10 short months, we're at top 5 of the leaderboards of the state of Texas. And it's thanks to our team that, you know, that we're there as well. But yeah, that's our mentality, was just recruit, so we can license.
That's big. And you know what's crazy is that Texas is no joke. Like, there's some heavy hitters in Texas. It's a gigantic state. You know, it's not one of these states where there's only like 10 RVPs in the whole state. I mean, you've got a few hundred RVPs out there, right? I think there's over like 500 RVPs. I think San Diego had told me something like that. So you guys to be at the very top of the charts, that's a big deal. John, anything you want to share about your mentality going into a new state?
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to say, I mean, Susie basically touched on everything. There's nothing else to say. It's recruiting and coding, you know. But I think when we got here, you know, my mentality was, look, I learned everything I already had here, right? Which was all the fundamentals of Primerica. So you can throw me anywhere. You can put me in Hawaii. You can put me in Puerto Rico, anywhere. I know how to prospect. I know how to book appointments. I know how to do fast starts. I know how to get people out in the field, and I know how to license people. So our confidence level was off the charts when it came to that. So we just said, look, guys, we just got to go out and meet people. The day we got here, it was like we literally parked the U-Haul and started going to Walmart to prospect. It was like we didn't even give it a chance to settle in. Like, we were like, dude, let's go. Like, why are we waiting? You know what I'm saying? So we were just, there was urgency the moment we got here. It was, dude, what, you know what I'm saying? That we told the team, like, look, guys, we gotta, by the time that you get out of your house, whether it's 7 or 8 a.m., you're out there hitting the streets and meeting new people. You know what I'm saying? There's no time to waste here. And when these guys dropped everything, I mean, we had each other, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, guys, so let's go. Like, that's what we're going to do, you know? And we just slowly started developing the environment, started recruiting in our backyard, and that's what we got. That's where we're at right now.
That's crazy. I remember we would talk about that, right? Where you want to be able to get so good at the business that if we were to throw you in a chopper, right, and drop you off anywhere, right, East Coast, right, freaking Michigan, Hawaii, Cali, Nevada, Texas, wherever, you're so good at the fundamentals of the business that you could start it all over again. And that's what both of you have done. Let me ask you this question, right? If you could go back, think about how long you've been in the business. If you could go back, what would you say you would fix? What would you say you would do different if you could do it all over again?
Hey, Alex. All right. So I personally, you know, I'm obviously grateful for the journey that we've had, in the sense that I feel that all of the things that we've learned them at its perfect time. However, if I could talk to my younger self, right, from 10 years ago when I first got started, I think I would put an emphasis on size over cash from the get-go. You know, when we first started working in Primerica, everything was about premium because premium brought the cash. And, you know, we would do one recruit by, you know, 15 grand, and that would make us a lot of cash. But, you know, over time, one of the things that we realized was that we didn't want to be salesmen our whole life, right? We didn't want to be out in the field our whole life. And we knew that if we wanted to develop some passive income, we needed to recruit an army, code an army, and then train those codes, right? Because it's not just recruiting and licensing, it's also training them to make sure that they're competent enough to do what they have to do, right? So I just think that it would be that. I know that when I first started, you know, there was a heavy emphasis on making cash. I wanted to make cash. I was in Primerica because I wanted to make money. But I also learned over the years that not all money is created equal. And there's money that you can make by going out there and chasing the sale. And then there's money that you can make by developing leaders, by developing trainers, and building a big base shop, right? So that's the main difference in shift in perspective that I would, you know, do earlier on. And I just feel that, you know, because to be honest with you, Alex, this shift in perspective, it didn't really happen until maybe about a year ago. And if you were to look at the first 9 years of our business, and you were compared it to the last 10 months of our business, it is night and day. And all it was a shift in mentality to go from chasing cash to chasing size. So that's our biggest thing. Thank you, Alex.
Huge. Chasing size. I love it. John, Susie, what would you do differently?
That's big. I mean, yeah, we gotta piggyback off that because it's all we talk about is size, coding. You know what I'm saying? I think when I joined the business, the talk was premium, right? How much premium? Now the talk is how much recruits, how many codes you have, who's double-digit recruiting. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different conversation that we're having. And I think that's what I would go back and say to myself is, you know, instead of trying to, you know, get 100% of one, start to get 1% of 100, right? That way, you know, we start living a life of freedom, the actual freedom. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being the person that said, "Oh man, I'm gonna go write premium. I'm gonna go write premium, and I'm gonna go buy all this. I'm gonna do that." Start thinking about, okay, what if we start building a hierarchy and then doing those things? You know, so I would just say, you know, focus on size and coding. That's where it starts with coding.
Gotcha. I love it. You guys both have very similar ways of thinking. Very, very cool. Hey, let me ask you guys this. Talk to us about what your roles are in your partnerships.
Hey, Alex. So our roles are, I would say that they're pretty defined. You know, in our business, you know, and one of the things that I love about our business is that not every partnership is the same. Every partnership is completely different. As far as Patty and I, right, I focus on the recruiting, the closing, the training, the mentals, the fundamentals, the coaching, the mentorship, and Patty does all of our licensing, right? We do have a licensing manager, but really, like, she's the leader of our licensing. And so the moment a recruit comes in, she's reaching out to the recruit, right? She's making sure that people are getting scheduled to class. You know, we're always, you know, she's always studying the ratios and the numbers. Okay, we got 20 recruits this last week. How many of them got signed up for class? How many of them completed class? How many of them took their simulate exam the first time already? How many of them have their test scheduled, right? And that's Patty's role, you know, making sure that these reps that are coming in are getting licensed. And then my role is making sure that these reps that come in are getting trained, right? On top of all the licensing, you know, she does a lot of the work with our two little girls. We have two amazing, beautiful girls. They're 8 and 9 years old. And so obviously she does that part a lot, you know, but our roles are pretty defined in the business. It really comes to, I do the training, she does the licensing, but we both encourage the overall culture of the environment that we have in our base shop. So it makes things a lot simple, right? And very drama free. So we're super grateful for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. John and Susie, talk to us about what your roles are in your partnership.
Yeah, so for me, the main roles that I have, right, is obviously making sure that our back office is good. You know, Jonathan makes the money, right? I make sure that we keep the money. And then secondly is to make sure our licensing is good. You know, I noticed that 90% of the time the licensing system is really follow up. You know, it's how much are you talking to your recruits about, you know, how class went, or, you know, as simple as, you know, did you even show up, you know, stuff like that, the little stuff, you know, it's the stuff that we miss. So it's really follow up that, you know, I do to make sure people, again, take their classes, to make sure there's exams scheduled, to make sure if they don't pass, to make sure that they get rescheduled, right? And then also do a lot of the social media, right? I make sure that, you know, Jonathan gets on appointments through social media and through, you know, recruiting. I do the recruiting appointments as well. So those are 4 things that I take care of in our business. And then I think it's important that you do define your role in a partnership, because, you know, Jonathan can never say, oh, well, why aren't you doing a KT? Because that's not my role, you know, like that's just really not what I'm supposed to be doing. So we know what areas, if there's an area that's down and that's my part, then I know that that's something I have to fix. And I'm not going to come to Jonathan saying, hey, you know, what's wrong with this when this is my area. So that's why it's important to define roles, so that you can avoid a lot, you know, when you're in a partnership, you know, being in a partnership is not easy, but if you can define your roles, it becomes a lot simpler, you know, to run your business efficiently and make sure that everything stays in line the way it's supposed to.
Awesome. Great answers, you guys.
That is super awesome. And Alex, if I can just ask you real quick, you know, because I think this is so flipping good, okay? And I learned that from a good friend of mine up in Massachusetts. You stay in your lane, I stay in my lane, right? But there's one question that I think is really important. Normally, I wouldn't step in and interrupt, but I think it's important because both of you guys started from scratch. So the one question I'm getting text about right now is, so wait a minute, you started at 0 at a new state. How did you do that? I mean, like, I know you prospect, you went here, but I think it was Josh said he started doing social media. And then I think the Moreiras said we did face-to-face. So the question that everybody's asking me right now is, how did you get from a cold market to a hot market? Because you obviously, you say you did 88 recruits?
Yes, that's correct.
I wrote it down. 88 recruits from scratch? That's what people are texting me, Alex. So knock it out. How do we do that? If you got a lot of people right now struggling, right? How do you do that? So that's the question.
Big. So let me kind of tell you what my day looked like, right? So the first thing I did was that I paid a moving company to move all my stuff, because I was like, dude, there's no way I'm going to be carrying a washer and a dryer up the stairs, like I ain't going to be setting up a bed, and nah, heck no, man. So, I figured that I could make that money back if I kept my mind clear. And so we paid a moving company. They moved everything for us. Tell you that very next day, my wife, we went to go register our girls from school, and we started looking for coffee shops. Okay. So again, remember, we didn't know anybody. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know what parts of the city were nice. We didn't know anything. So, we would go to Google, right? And type in trendy coffee shops, right? Top coffee shops in San Antonio. And we would go to a coffee shop. And when we went to the coffee shop, we would take pictures for a little bit of social media content. And then, we started sending DMs. Okay. So, our goal was to send, 25, 30 DMs at a time in the morning, send another 25, 30 DMs in the afternoon, another 25, 30 DMs in the evening, and then another 25, 30 DMs at night before going to sleep. So we were doing about 120, 150 DMs. Okay. We were posting about 5 to 10 stories a day. And we were just, to me, there's a lot of people that do social media and they don't get the results they see other people get, because it's not just about going through the numbers, it's about the vibe and the energy you give off. So think about like cold prospecting in person, right? You could go to Walmart, Target, the mall, and get one number after being there for 8 hours. And then you got someone else that went to the exact same locations and got 20 numbers, right? And it more than just being competent, it's really energy, vibes, because people care more about where you're going than where you're at, right? They want to make sure that you're excited about the opportunity that you're sharing with them. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing when it comes to social media and you're posting stories. It ain't about posting a picture of your coffee cup. It ain't about posting a picture of how good you look that day, or your new haircut, or your new sneakers, or where you're driving. But it's the energy that you're giving off, as you're posting, right? People got to feel your excitement. They feel your energy. They know that you're excited about what you're doing. And even it's so crazy how strong those vibes are that they rub off of your DMs. Like there's a difference between a DM that was copy pasted and a DM that was copy pasted with like, dude, I'm going to find my next stud. Right. And my wife and I, we just kept on telling each other, dude, we're going to find someone. We're going to find someone. We're going to find someone. And, for the first 2 weeks, like nothing was happening, man. Like, right. I'm not. And I started believing what people were telling me, Ace, because people were telling me, bro, you moved to the wrong city. They were telling me, bro, San Antonio's so laid back. If you really want to build a business, you got to go to Houston, Dallas, or Austin. Everybody in San Antonio is just part of a big town. They just want to sip on a beer under a tree in the evening while they grill some brisket, smoke some brisket. That's what they told me, man. And I'm like, snaps, dude. Like, what if I made a mistake, right? And I said, no, I have to cut off that voice, and I have to believe that when God puts you in a place and he's with you, he can make it flourish anywhere. I don't know if you guys remember, there's a story in the Bible about Isaac, during a drought, and the Bible says that God would make it rain on his land. And you have to believe that. And when you start believing that God's going to allow you to meet some good people, when you start believing that God's going to allow you to meet some key players, right? Those vibes and that energy, it just oozes off of your stories. It oozes off of your captions, your follow-ups, your DMs, your emojis that you send. And people all of a sudden, they're interested. Dude, what are you doing, man? I'm interested. Can I get more information? And guess what, man? Little by little, it started happening. And we're just grateful, man, because now we not only recruit ourselves, we have a recruiting environment. Everyone in our base shop, we love recruiting. We love talking about recruiting. I remember back in the day when recruiting wasn't a culture, we were afraid to mention recruiting. We didn't want to mention recruiting at the recruiting appointment. We didn't want to mention recruiting at the fast start, game plan orientation, whatever you call it, because we were afraid that if we mentioned recruiting, they were going to think it was one of those things and they were going to quit. But when your core value is so dominant on, dude, we know that this is the pathway to freedom and this is the way it needs to get done, you're not afraid to talk about those convictions that you have, and people start buying into it, right? And so that's what it was for us. I can't tell you that I was getting 10, 15 numbers a day. And again, everybody builds it different, but for Patty and I, it was 100% social media. We were searching for local places. So I would go to a search on the Instagram. I'd go to places, I'd look up people somewhere where people in their 20s could be, right? Buffalo Wild Wings, Starbucks, Dave and Buster's, pediatric offices, Lash Techs, right? And I would just start following people, message them. Hey, I'm new to the San Antonio area. I'm opening up a financial office. Are you interested in making some extra income? So that's what it was for us, Ace. I don't know if it was different for Jonathan and Susie, right? But that's what it was for us. So that's what really started building the momentum. So we're really grateful for that. I hope that helps those people that are asking.
Sheesh.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. You've got both of us, Ace and I, taking notes, Sandiego. Way to go, man. John and Susie, tell us, how did you get things moving out there in the new state? What'd you do?
So I don't think it was any different on social media. We have everybody on social media. We have everybody saying 100 plus DMs. That's the standard 100 plus DMs, 100 plus DMs, right? But we also said, man, if we're gonna really take this thing like in a fast pace, why not send DMs and prospect at the same time? Because that's why not? You know what I'm saying? So we said, dude, let's go do it, right? And so we were just the moment that we got here, I did the same thing that I did in Arizona because I found my route. You know what I'm saying? So from my house to the office, right? There's certain places that I'll go to, whether it's malls, shopping centers, outlets, Walmarts, grocery stores, and I'll hit them on the way to the office, and then I'll hit them on the way back. And so it's just we created a route where everybody knows the route. And everybody says, all right, these are the best place to prospect. And then also, if you're moving from a different state, it's no other different than you losing your warm market once you get licensed. You know what I'm saying? What do you do after you go through your warm market and after you lose that? What's next? Well, how do you prospect, right? However your base shop prospects, that's where you got to hit it. That's where it starts. And I said, well, I know how to prospect. I said, let's do it. Why would I put that skill on the shelf just because I want to do one that I'm getting good at? You know what I'm saying? So I said, let's just use both of them to advantage and let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? So it's no other different than it's not a magic. It's not a magic spell or a magic potion that we did. We just did what we're supposed to do, which is think about when you first get licensed, right? You first get licensed, you go through your warm market, you use it all up, and then you go into it until you start meeting strangers, right? And then you meet strangers and turn them into your best friends. And that's what we did.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, you do both face-to-face and social media. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, you guys, you've both mentioned the word environment. I want you to talk to us about how important environment is. And what do you do to maintain it? How do you keep a healthy environment, a healthy culture at your office? Josh?
Hey, Alex. So I think that, for us, environment is everything, man. The environment that you're in is gonna determine what you're, I would say, more courageous to do at any specific moment, right? There's that saying by Albert Einstein, you tell a fish to climb a tree and he thinks he's dumb, but you put him in the water and he can release his full potential, I always use this example of oranges, for example. Oranges, they grow in Arizona and they grow in Florida, but you'll never see oranges grow in the northern parts of Canada because it's too cold. And you can have the best seed, you can have an amazing ground, but if you don't have the right climate, that seed is not going to release its potential. And so, there's a lot of great teachers. There's a lot of great trainers. They have a lot of great recruits that are willing to learn. But because there's not an environment, an atmosphere, a climate that's conducive to that specific behavior, there's never any flourishment and there's never any release of the potential that's in those seeds, right? So for us, the environment was super, super important. And there was a couple of things that we wanted to make sure were in our environment, right? Number one, I think it was super important for us to have a recruiting environment, okay? Not just a recruiting system, we needed to have a recruiting environment. And what's the difference? A recruiting system would be, for example, everybody that comes in knows how many DMs to send, they know how many stories to post, right? But we wanted an environment that would get matched to that system, where everybody was talking about recruiting, where recruiting is celebrated, where recruiting is, dude, you recruited somebody? Heck yeah, man. There's more celebration on our Telegram for picking up an IBA than closing a fatty. Right? Somebody will close a 150 and like, oh my God, bro, that's a fatty. That's a max case, bro. That's awesome. They're getting, you're going to pay the full $1,000. That's cool. But you know what? We said, nah, dude, that's cool. We'll throw a little fireball or something. But when somebody picks up a recruit, we make it a big deal, right? Dude, that's freaking awesome. You're building, right? Sell to survive, recruit to retire, baby, right? Like, let's go. You're making it happen. Train that recruit. Go after it, right? So we have an environment on our Telegram, and then we have an environment at our office, okay? That was number one. The second thing was not just recruiting, but DDRing, all right? We really feel like we need to have people want to DDR. Like, you got to fight to DDR. Why do we DDR? Because the more people we have DDRing, that's going to help our base shop do TDR, right? And I'm so excited for our base shop because, ever since we arrived in San Antonio a year and a half ago, we had been talking about TDR, 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 and we had never done it. And then last year in July, when we had that special IBA, we did like 100 and something, but it didn't feel right. Like, it wasn't a legitimate one, right? I was like, dude, nah, we need to hit TDR without an IBA special, And we kept talking about it, and we started pushing 80 and 90. And then last month we did over 130, right? But because we had more people buying into DDR, that's all it was. And so then I asked the base shop, well, then why do we want to TDR? And the reason we TDR is because we accept the numbers of a 10 to 20% coding ratio. So if we TDR, which is a triple digit recruiting, and we get 100 recruits, then we're going to get 10 to 20 codes, right? 10 to 20%, 10 to 20 codes. If we get 10 to 20 codes and we hold that for a year, well, now you're talking about 120 to 240 new codes in a 12-month period. And why do we want that? Because that creates a big base shop. And why do we want a big base shop? Because a big base shop is the breeding ground for RVPs. And why do we want RVPs? Because we want a hierarchy. And why do we want a hierarchy? Because we want freedom. That right there, Alex, we talk about that every single meeting. It's like a loop on a video. 15, 20 minutes before every meeting we start. Everything we do is about DDR, TDR, double-digit coding, big base shop, promoting RVPs, hierarchy, freedom, right? Like, over and over and over. So that's what our environment is about, right? And obviously a bunch of other little things like, when the RVP is talking, don't get up to go to the restroom, right? Don't bring any food to the base shop. Don't bring, you always talked about it, Alex, you approach this business casual, you're going to end up with casualties, right? So, we want to respect the speakers at every meeting. We don't want people munching on a donut and drinking their coffee and, bringing their Tupperware with some scrambled eggs and sausage. And all of a sudden, well, in San Antonio, it's breakfast tacos, right? Bean and cheese breakfast tacos, right? We don't want that, man. Like, we need people dress sharp, taking notes, making it happen, right? And so we're excited about it, man. We have a lot of fun, but we take it very serious as well. So we're excited, man. Again, right? It's seed, ground, but you also need the environment.
Hey, Alex, can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
I just want to apologize. Normally we want to give the speakers all the time, so I only recognize the top 5. But when Josh has said that, his base shop, guys, listen to me. I just turned off my background so you can see my messy office. His base shop last month did 134 recruits. So you're not talking from theory, something that just, oh, 100 and, my bad, bro. I apologize. We just want to give you the time. My wife just texted me. It's like, this dude, Josh, is on point. So my apologies, bro. 134, but there's like over 20. So we want to give you the time. That is absolutely phenomenal. My apologies.
I'm telling you, Ace, I'm telling you, Anna, these couples are crushing the game right now. So I hope you guys are taking a bunch of notes. I know I am for sure. John, Susie, did you guys want to answer that question also?
Yeah, I think that's all great. It's like perfectly. That's like, it's like, man, I feel like we like run the same thing meeting, you know what I'm saying? The same environment. It's literally what we talk about too. If I can just add on to that, I think it's the, overall it's the vision. You know what I'm saying? What kind of vision do you pour into your team? What kind of vision do you, is it clear or is it kind of like a foggy vision? You know what I'm saying? And the team knows, our base shop and our future hierarchy knows that we're going to do 1,000 codes in 1,000 days. And they know that. So everything that revolves around what we do on a daily basis and as far as our environment goes, it's to be able to meet that vision, 1,000 codes in 1,000 days, and so everybody knows the numbers, everybody knows the game, and everybody knows that that's what we're going to do. And they understand that that's what's going to get them to be able to where they want to get to, whether it's RVP, SVP, into $1 million earner. That's where they know that that's what they have to be able to do. You know what I'm saying?
And my apologies to you guys too, okay? Again, because we want to give you guys the most of the time. Jonathan and Susie did almost 90 recruits. So we're not talking from philosophy. We're talking about stuff that's being done right. I don't want to leave Alex out. I know he's interviewing you guys, but Alex is a freaking superstar, bro. And I want to ask you one question, Alex. If you were to start all over, because we have most of the people on this call right now, we have 193, most of them, because I look at the list and I'm not disrespecting, I'm checking the text messages. I told you this yesterday, right? But everyone wants to know, Alex, how do you find an old guy like you and me, okay? You got more white hair than I do. How does an old guy like you and me find young studs like this, bro? How do you do this? I mean, how do you attract somebody to this opportunity? Because you built a big base shop. You got a powerful hierarchy brewing. How do you do this, bro? That's the next question I have for you, man.
Yeah, great question, Ace. So we did what these guys have done, right? We took our California to Arizona, and everything that they've said is exactly what we lived. We had to start all over from scratch. I had to design my route. I had to start talking to everybody. Man, I hit the pavement. We were, our focus was to get 10 new numbers per day, every single day of the week. And we did that. And when you go through that many numbers, when you're shaking hands all day with people, you're going to eventually run into some studs. And that's exactly what happened. It took us a little bit. It took us roughly about 2 years of meeting tons of people. Now, don't get me wrong. We found a lot of good people during those 2 years, but then we meet the San Diegos and boom, explosion. So it's just going through numbers, right? The more hands you shake, the more money you make. We like to say that our business, just like a lot of these sports out there, whether it's football or MMA, right? It's a contact sport. Our business is a contact business. So one that makes the most contacts with people is going to win big. And that's really all we did, Ace. Nothing crazy. We just worked our butt off. And it's funny. I tell our base now that every day when I was out there, I would keep telling myself, today's a day. Today is a day. Today is a day. Meaning that I was, speaking it into existence, proclaiming it, that today was going to be the day that we found somebody that would help us dominate the state. And when you say that enough, man, eventually things start to pop off. So that's how we did it. Hope that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And the number one question, I've got 16 questions. I apologize, HLC. We can't ask all of them. We wish we can do this for 2 hours. But the big deal right now, Alex, Josh and Jonathan and Susie, right? I want to, the number one question I'm getting right now is social media. I know that's the biggest thing. I know Danny Chamorro said that 80% of his new hierarchy people is coming from social media. I know you said direct messages, face-to-face. We know face-to-face, but a lot of people are asking me right now. I got 16 text messages just now saying, can you give us an example of what DMs are or what social media, what are you doing? What are you posting? Because I know Primerica's really, compliant, as we all are. But what are you doing to attract people on social media to at least have a conversation with you? That's the number one question I'm getting right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ace, so obviously this social media game, I really feel that before starting to just want to follow a series of bullet points, I think it starts with the desire and a mentality of you actually wanting to get good at it, right? Like there's got to be a point where you say, dude, there's a bunch of people, recruiting tons of people from social media. They're making a lot of money by building big base shops and hierarchies through social media. I got to get good at this and I got to learn. And so it starts with a hunger of wanting to learn. Right. But let me just tell you a couple of things that we do. Right. So let me give you an example because I was just going through the questions and there's a difference between posting and showing energy. Right. So I think that it's super important that you learn how to market your ambition. I think that it's important that you learn how to market your desire, market your emotions. Let me give you an example, Ace. The other day I bought this black MacBook that came out a few months ago. And I posted a little boomerang about it, right? And then I was like, dude, guys, I'm so fired up. I've never seen a black MacBook. I like it. I love it. Do you guys ever thought about getting one? And then one of the girls on my team says, oh my gosh, I just bought the same one last week. And I said to her, yeah, but yours doesn't matter because you didn't post about it. See, if you don't post about it, nobody knows. It doesn't matter. It never happened. Nobody cares. Nobody can buy into it. And so you have to learn how to market that excitement. So if you wake up, right, there's people, a lot of us, man, we wake up excited, fired up, driven. We want to conquer the world. But if you don't market it, it never happened. Nobody knows you're excited. And so it starts by, taking a little selfie video, just literally grabbing your phone and just saying, hey, guys, good morning, man. I'm so fired up this morning. I'm on my way to the gym right now. Going to go get a little, little workout in. And then after that, I'm going to have some breakfast with my wife. And I'm just so fired up. I'm excited, man. And all of a sudden, boom, that's it. And then you throw a little boomerang of wherever gym you're at, right? And then, hey guys, what's up, man? I'm getting here to the office, man. We're so grateful to have an amazing team. And people are like, dude, what is this guy so happy about? Like, what is he so excited about, And that's what I mean about marketing your ambition, marketing your excitement, marketing your emotions, because again, you could be excited, but if you're excited inside of your car and no one knows you're excited, no one can buy into it, right? And so I think that's super important. And in regards to scripts, Ace, one of the things that I realized is that many hierarchies, different base shops, different people have different scripts, okay? To me, it just comes down to having a script just like the way you would prospect, right? Hey, excuse me, quick question. Do you happen to be familiar with the area, right? Or, hey, quick question. I have a financial office. I'm expanding in the area. Would you or someone keep your options open, right? And, there's always been, oh, this sounds better or this. I just feel like every leader needs to find a script that works for them, that they feel comfortable with. And then I feel that everybody in the base shop needs to stick to the same script, the same system, and run it, right? And it's literally like if you're talking to someone in person, right? We've even going from text scripts to audio messages, right? To where you hold down the mic and you respond in audio, right? And then you start booking the appointment. So those are the two biggest things that I would say in regards to social media. And then the last key that I would just say to finish this off is I think it's important that you constantly follow strangers and follow new people. A lot of people in Primerica, you know, they have 200 followers and 180 of them are in Primerica and the other 20 are their family. And it's just like, dude, who you're trying to recruit? You can't recruit them. They're in the system already, right? Go find strangers, go follow strangers, follow people that you don't know. So I would tell you that everybody in my base, we follow maybe 1 or 2 people from Primerica just to kind of mimic what they're doing because they're doing so great. But outside of that, we don't follow Primericans. We follow people that we want to recruit. We're not interested in knowing what other Primericans are doing. We want to look for people that are looking for us. So that's what happens. That's what it is for us, Ace. I hope that helps. Alex, thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, you guys, man, this has been an absolute amazing call. I'm going to ask you one last question here. One of the things I see in both of you, and you were both like this from the very beginning, you guys are both students of the game. You study winners. You're always self-improving. Talk to us about your self-development plan. What do you do to get better? Sure, there's a lot of people on here thinking, how do I get better up here? Because you guys know I talked about this, that once you fix this, you fix this, right? And tell us about your self-development plan.
I would say that's where it all starts. You know, you can be a hard worker and right, there's a lot of hard workers in the world, but if that were the case to win in life, then everybody that's a hard worker would be, you know, very successful. But unfortunately, that's not the case. It's not just about working hard. It's about, you know, working hard on your thinking. You know, you've always said you fix your thinking, you fix your cash. It's so true because, you know, I think that's where it starts. I mean, you unless you came from a family that's a multi-millionaire family with generational wealth, you don't have a business thinking. You don't have the thinking of what a successful person thinks on the daily. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work on yourself every single day. You got to dive into self-development books. I mean, I'm like a self-improvement junkie. I listen to audios every day. When I'm getting ready, Susie's like, dang, another one, right? Right? And she's like, which one's next? Now it's like, which one's next? Which one's next, right? I hear her doing it. And I'm like, dude, that's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? Because once you have that great thinking, they're going to start attracting great people. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. San Diego?
Yeah, for us, so obviously, you know, we're always self-improving and you know, we're always listening to an audiobook, listening to an audio on SoundCloud, right? We try to keep it to the people that we were taught growing up that, you know, built it the way that we believed was right, you know, and so, you know, we'll listen to a lot of Rick, Susie, a lot of Hector Lamarck, you know, Mike Sharp, you know, but I like reading a lot, you know, and we have a book of the month that we encourage our entire team to read. Okay, just a couple months ago, we read The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Phenomenal book. Freaking phenomenal book, man. Last month we read you know, one of the classics, 21 Laws of Leadership. You know, this month we're reading Put Your Dream to the Test, which is you know, recommended by my friend Fernando Nolasco, and that's just a freaking phenomenal book. And you know, I think it's not just self-improving, but again, going back to what we talked about a few minutes ago, creating a culture of self-improvement. Let me tell you something else we do to self-improve. This is big right here on social media. I study reels on how to take better pictures, on how to take better angles, on how to use color grading, on how to make reels, on how to make videos, right? Like, dude, it's all on there. You just have to research it, right? And so I follow maybe about 10 people that, you know, teach you how to pose better. They teach you how to, you know, do reels, how to use video apps like CapCut. You know, we use Lightroom for our profiles, because like people, when you DM them, like, who is this? They're going to go to your profile. They want to see who you are. And if you don't look attractive, bro, like, they ain't going to take you serious, right? So it's about having an Instagram page that looks attractive, that when people, you know, go to check you out, they're like, dude, this dude looks like he's legit, right? And so how do you do that? Like I remember I'd see some people's Instagram pictures. I'd be like, how the heck does they make it look like that? And they use Lightroom presets, right? And we teach this to our base shop. We go over all this. And I feel like that's a part of self-improving, being that we want to recruit big through social media. I think that's super important that we sharpen those skills. So that's what we do, Alex. I hope that helps. But other than that, I just want to be like Jonathan. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
before we close, Alex,
Go ahead.
look, I'm like, literally, I'm getting text. You can't see my camera here, but I'm getting text messages,
Yeah,
and
no.
maybe we need to have you guys back on, because I'm getting personal text messages saying, okay, how do you do a reel? How do you do a short? How do you do this? How do you do a story? Look, I got to pay somebody to do that. Okay, that's just me. But Alex, any closing comments? Anything, man? We're about to close this call. What's going on? I mean, what's on your heart? I mean, you got two phenomenal
Oh man.
leaders. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This call has been amazing. Any closing comments, brother?
Yeah, you know what, Ace, Anna, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is two amazing couples here, and they know exactly what to do, and they're doing it. You know, a lot of people know what to do, but they just won't put in the work. These guys have grinded from day one of moving into a brand new state. We're super excited for them. I think their edge right now is everything we talked about. It's social media, it's environment, right? I've gotten to visit both their offices, and they have great environments. They got really good quality people in there. They're both focused on recruiting, licensing, right? That's a huge one. You said you listened to Danny's call. That's all he talks to us about. So it's recruiting, licensing, and then getting them trained, right? Because it does you no good to get people licensed and then they don't produce, right?
Yeah.
Bill Arender calls them framers, right? Where they get licensed and they just buy a frame and hang it up on the wall, right? We don't want that, right? We want people to actually put that license to use. And so these guys are doing a great job in every area. We're so dang excited, so dang blessed, man. I don't know what we did to deserve people like this in our lives, but we're super blessed, super excited. And they're just getting going, you guys. That's what's scary. Like, right, San Diego's have only been in Texas for a year and a half. I think John and Susie, you said 10 or 11 months. That's crazy. Ace, that hasn't even been a year. Not even a year, man. They're already dominating a gigantic state, right? So couldn't be any more excited than we are for these guys, man. Super, super excited.
And I'm telling you, I'm going to bring you guys to jealousy right now. We got Alex Santana coming down to Maryland, DC area to teach us all his secret. I'm getting the next question. What is Lighthouse? What is Light Thing? What is Lightroom? We don't have time, but I just want to tell you, Alex, Moreiras and Josh and Patty, I want to thank you guys for joining, for just pouring out your hearts. And I could tell this is what the HLC is about.
Yeah.
Pouring your heart. By the way, I just keep saying, Susie, you look like Diana Macias. Am I wrong, Anna? She looks like Diana Macias. It's crazy. That's a good thing for you, Jonathan. That you guys are going to get paid a lot. So listen, I just want to thank you guys for these three base shops, guys. We're talking about almost 300 recruits, right? I mean, it's like it's an enormous amount of recruiting coming in and premium and things like that. And the HLC is eternally grateful. On behalf of the HLC Board of Directors and Home Office, we want to thank you for just joining us, pouring out your heart. Listen, folks, this is only going to get better. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the next HLC call. But we definitely, I don't know, Anna, I just feel in my heart, I got to talk to the board, but we got to have these guys and really do a private training on, because social media is big right now, especially with Home Office. We want to make sure we get it right? But what you're doing, whatever you're doing is working and is working big. So,
sir. Yes, sir.
have a blessed afternoon, guys. We went a little bit over our time, but I thank all the 100+ RVPs we had on this call. You guys made a difference. I promise you, you did. God bless you. Have a blessed night, HLC.
God bless. Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Recording stopped.